and then I just turned on my laptop right away.
And now it's working. And now we're live.
Oh, hello. I was debating whether to stay at the office for this, but I gotta get
I'm glad you went home because now we have that fabulous background of
It's fake.
books.
It's fake though.
Oh wait, that's not real?
Yeah, it's just not just case.
Oh, I was about to say it looks really good. I'm real. This is like the part.
I know. Well, that's not a green screen with
no.
blowing in the background. Okay. All right.
No, I'm in a park.
It's way more relaxing. Yeah. You're making me want to move out there. So it's
I know. Come visit. Come visit anytime.
I will.
And then you can. When was the last time you actually were here?
Well, I've only been there one time. Actually, it was the FYLPRO conference. That had to be 2014 or 15, something like that. Yeah.
So you're way overdue. You need to come back. And there's a lot of Filipino representation in government. So you can.
I know you guys are not a minority. It seems you guys look like you're represented.
We're the majority, actually. But that being said, it's still hard, like you said, that we talked offline about the fact that trying to get more representation, but it's changing, so that's good. It's changing.
Good. Sounds good.
But for those of us who are, for you of our viewers who are just joining us, this is FYLPRO Fridays, where we talk to our fabulous alumni and members who are doing amazing things, inspiring people and communities across the world. And today we have Steven Raga out of New York. Hey, Steven.
Happy to join. Thanks for doing this.
Oh my gosh. And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this with us, because we want to see what's going on with you. You were part of the original batch, right? Whoa. Right. With Kit. Kit was the original too, right?
Of course. You got through it. We had good people then. And what's funny, it wasn't FYLPRO. It was called something else. It was FYLP was the program we were in for the entire duration. So they changed it up, I think, from the second batch onwards. But yeah.
Oh wow. Well, you're the OG crew though. So that's good.
Yeah. I was also the youngest in the OG crew, by the way. I believe. So but yeah, Kit was there repping Hawaii pretty hard. So can't miss it.
Well, fill us in on what you've been up to. So that's been, what is that? That was 2012. So that was like 10 years ago, right? That we're celebrating 10 years.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. A lot has been going on. So I'll fast forward, not to bore everybody here, so we could lose viewers. But currently, I'm the executive director of Woodside the Move. It's one of the oldest mission-driven policy advocacy and social service organizations in Western Queens that encompasses Woodside, which is the home of Filipinos in New York. It's where Little Manila is. It's where all our advocacy organizations are. It's where all the food is, number 3, and more importantly. So happy to finally be in a position to do that on the nonprofit side. What else is going on? I worked in government for a while, worked in other nonprofits in the last decade, and last year ran for city council. This year I'm running for district leader for the Assembly District 30 in New York State, and I'm finishing my executive MBA program in a few weeks. So I'm gonna have my weekends back very, very soon. So excited about that, and excited to have more time to reach out and reconnect with my FYLPRO alumni.
Yeah, I mean, not like you don't have enough on your plate, but it's important to keep connected to everyone. I actually found out we have a connection also. One of my cousin's husbands actually did a study abroad with you in the Philippines.
Ooh.
Professor X.
Xavier? Wow. Yeah, we were at
UP. He just
UP.
Messaged me.
Yeah, 2006. He's a great guy, big, obviously a big student leader during his time, and now he's teaching the necessary subjects that we needed back in the day. So he's embodiment of what seeing what the Filipino community has gaps in and addressing it directly. So he's great.
Yeah, no, it's great that all of you guys are obviously have been involved in the community and continuing to elevate the discussion about Filipinos. I wanted to talk to you specifically. You mentioned Woodside. So,
Yes.
side story for me and my Woodside, and I've told you this, Stephen, is when I was at Columbia studying graduate school in journalism there, it was Woodside was the neighborhood I wanted to cover because, hey, Filipinos, share our voices, right? Share our stories. But I did have a hard time uh, finding people who wanted to open up and share, some of these stories that I was trying so hard to vocalize in mainstream. Right. So, what is the
Yep.
challenge out there? Like, what do you think is the biggest hurdle for you as someone who's trying to advocate for the community?
I mean, it's not just the neighborhood, and I'll just say, and I'll give my experience of New York. I'm not going to say it's
Just
cut and paste
Woodside,
throughout
yeah.
the country, but it's definitely what we need is a bit more trust between different members of the community. That's why if you're coming up to them, just asking folks off the street what their opinion is on certain things, they're gonna ignore you and keep walking away. The only person I've seen successfully do that recently is the people like selling balot and that's on the street. Definitely can catch people off and have that conversation, but it's difficult. The good thing is, I think, and when were you here again? It was like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, this was in 2003.
Yeah. So
So about 20 years ago.
almost. You're gonna have that anniversary soon.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
I
right?
will. I
So,
will.
so
I
it's
should go
yeah.
back over there and like go back to each
You
person and
should.
like,
You
hey.
should. I mean, I think there's a big difference in which in 2003, which I was around here too, obviously, and now the community kind of looks different in terms of it looks the same in terms of it's still good looking Filipinos walking around, but the composition is now more second generation folks that are born and raised in the area or moved into New York, and they called Woodside home, just like the previous generation of Filipino Americans. And they're more likely to have that conversation. They're more likely to be involved in the and break outside into the broader New York and American community. So it's a bit more what is this friendly.
Receptive? Oh,
Receptive. Sorry,
receptive.
I didn't want to say. Yes, it's more receptive to folks, and it's great. You could really see that embodied with a few of the new coalitions that's coming around, where it's a lot of driven by mostly millennials and but obviously intergenerational as well. Like we had the Filipinos Rise Up rally addressing the anti-Asian violence that's going around, and not just New York, but obviously everywhere. But yeah, I think it's a bit more receptive now. So you should hang out, come over here. Food is still great. Jollibee's up in here for 10 years, and Max's Chicken is coming in this month. We got a lot.
There's
of
a
good
really
stuff.
good barbecue joint like on the second floor. Do you know what I'm talking about? I can't remember. Oh my gosh, I love that place. I used to go there all the time. Is it still there?
Of course, you're not going to shut down with that quality of barbecue. That's going to be there
Oh my
forever.
God.
Yeah.
That was good. I did enjoy them. There was like a brunch place that I would go to. It was like a turo turo place. Like it was
Mhm.
really good. Yeah.
There's
So
a bunch of
I
them.
do like the
Yeah.
food. Yeah.
No,
And
it's really
luckily
good.
since then it's expanded to Manhattan. I know there was a few places like Grill 21 and obviously
Yeah.
Maharlika and like things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and Jeepney
But
was there for a while, and I
yeah.
think, but yeah, it's expanded to Manhattan, and there's a few good ones there. Mama Fina's, and a few others. It's great. So again, come by.
Yes, I will. And I think part of it also I felt is maybe our culture of not wanting to complain too much or not wanting to raise a stink. But I think as we've learned, if you don't speak out, you don't get resources. I don't know if you found that as, in your work advocating and trying to, create public policy for the community.
Yeah, 100% all the time. I saw that in government, where I was chief of staff at the state government, and now as executive director of a nonprofit that directly oversees our community. Our community needs a lot of help. but there's historically and currently disproportionately under-resourced. A lot of that is that we don't speak up, we don't ask for anything until it's way too late. And we don't, when it's way too late, it's usually individual. It's not a community or a group saying, hey, it's way too late for our community. For instance, I know that several individuals that are of Filipino descent in the neighborhood that are getting kicked out of their apartment, don't have a phone, might have no access to health insurance. These are older, also like lolas and lolos who don't have, who qualify for a lot of these services, but have gone years without any of those resources. So, but they're not going to the larger community and saying, hey, this is a Filipino problem. And even in a Filipino neighborhood, they're quiet about it, hush hush about it, and then they try to find, they ask other folks for help that's outside of our community. But the thing is, since I'm in a position now where I'm working, not necessarily within our community, but of our community, it comes to me anyway. And I hear it and I'm like, yeah, this is why we have to, speak up. This is why we have to, register to vote. This is why we have to vote in the primary and in general, and come as one community to say that we're tremendously under-resourced, and we deserve, just like anyone else, the ability to have funds directed to our community, and also to directly address the issues that are affecting our families and our vulnerable families as well.
Yeah. So how do you get over that hurdle of embarrassment, right? Because they don't want to feel like
Yeah.
they need help, right? Like there's pride in our community,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
prevents us from asking for help.
Yeah, I mean, that's one. I'm not sure we're doing what we can. I mean, an example, and I don't want to keep hard, but it's a really good example as well, not just of our laws and laws that are about to get kicked out and evicted, and now it's a little bit too late. It's also with the rise of attacks against Asian Americans in New York. A lot of we're hearing a lot of these reports, and and that are out there, but I hear more of the attacks on Filipino Americans that are not reported because they're scared. They don't want it to be a thing that goes up in public. They don't want to have their family in the Philippines hear about it. There's a whole other, very wants to keep it hush hush. And so only, although we have a few instances or several of attacks on Filipino Americans, I hear of dozens, and it's just not out there.
Wow, I know, and that's disturbing. Is there, how we had that anti-Asian hate crimes bill? Has that helped? That was signed into law.
Oh, on the federal level?
Yeah, has that helped at all? Has any of these efforts that we've seen over the last year translated into resources or
Yeah,
improvement? I feel
I
like
think
we're hearing
yeah.
a lot more though, but I guess that's because
Yeah.
people are talking.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good first step. I'm not saying it doesn't help at all. It's just, who knows? Maybe it's just now it's the rise of attacks is walking faster than the help from that bill. It's maybe we need additional and further support to honor that. And that was great being pushed on the federal level. Now it's time for city and state elected officials to support the effort and push legislation as well.
And I know you're putting you have been putting your money where your mouth is with running for public office. What motivates you to keep seeking that, that level of representation when there's just so many challenges, right? Tell us, uniquely, New York has a different kind of challenge versus, say, us here in Hawaii, where the representation is a lot better in public office.
Yeah, I mean, that's a few, we could talk about that all day. We don't have, it, but
Highlights.
yeah, well, in general, yes, we've never had a full-time elected official of Filipino descent in New York City, New York State in history. And a lot of that is just the degree of, or the frequency of participation on voting in primaries in New York City. In New York City, the entire New York State is a closed primary state, which means across the river there, New Jersey is not. So you could be of any political party and vote for the Filipino candidate. You cannot do that or any candidate. You can't do that in New York State. You have to, it's a tournament, and the first round of the tournament is the primary. And if you're not, and New York City is 95% Democrat, if you're not in that particular bracket of the tournament, your guy might not, your person you're supporting might not advance. And as of now, that has been the case. So what are we doing right now? We're just trying to, educate the community on why they should register to vote, educate the community on whatever political party they want. They should really think about voting in the primary, because the November election doesn't really, that's 5% that you might impact. 95% of that discussion is happening in the primary, not the general in New York City. So that's something we're trying to educate our community on, and it's been very helpful, or picking up steam in recent efforts, especially with the millennials and Gen Z picking up the efforts to further that and get their folks and friends and families to register and participate.
So they actually have to be a registered Democrat to vote in the primary. Is that what you're saying over there?
In the Democratic primary, correct? Yes.
Oh, okay. And then the challenge could also be, are a lot of the Filipinos there Republican versus, say, Democrat?
Yeah, but at the same time, and I mean, I remember on primary day for the city council election last June, we saw Filipinos that are Republican walking past the election booth and going, wait. I can vote for a Filipino today? And they're like, you can't, because you have to be in the Democratic primary. And 100% of them, 100% of them are going, oh, if I knew, I would have changed parties just for this, this election, so I could finally vote for a Filipino to represent me. And so that was another thing, another good takeaway. But yeah, there's
part of the education.
Yeah, it's a big part of it, and it's part of the yearning to have folks that, whether or not they're qualified, whether or not their heart's in the right place, but do they have similar cultural experiences as you? Do they look like you? Do they have this, that same point of view? And for those individuals that might not be in the Democratic Party but still want to vote for me, it seemed like that was the case.
Wow. That's a unique challenge for sure. So I guess at this point, all you can keep doing is informing, educating, pounding the pavement. I mean, how can we support you? How can our network, if you were to speak to the universe, and articulate what we want to see in terms of action and what can be done, what would you say?
Honestly, it would just be, and it doesn't have to be New York, it could be across the country. Register all the Filipinos to vote 100%, because this in this neighborhood in it's 40% Asian, majority is Filipino. Then on the assembly side, it's 50% Asian. And if Filipinos were just registered to vote, forget it.
Wow.
We're winning.
Wait, 40%. Wait, sorry, you're saying 40%. Where is that in your area?
In the city council district in Western Queens. So that's
gosh.
Of Woodside, that goes into Sunnyside, where a lot of the registered voters are the kids of the parents who moved to Woodside in the 60s and 70s and 80s. And now they're like, I want to live in the area, but not with the parents. And now they're going.
Oh, wow.
So, and that includes also Long Island City, which is in the city council district, which I ran for last year. And that's beginning to be the largest portion of New York City or the part of New York City in which it has the largest increase of Asian American residents. So Long Island City seems to be part of that mix. So yeah, this is just right now, and we'll see what happens in the future.
I'm really surprised that not with that kind of demographic, there's not an elected official that's of Filipino descent. That is really shocking, I have to say. So we have to do I think we have to do something about that.
Well, it goes to a lot of things. It's like, even with the numbers that we have and the demographic we have, there's no Filipino community center. I know you guys have one over there. I've been there.
Yeah, we do.
So it's nice. So we don't have a center.
Wait, there's no community center?
No.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that.
There's not a senior center. There's not a youth center. There's not a cultural center, any of that. But the other demographics, especially other AAPI communities, they have several community senior center, community centers. They have museums, and it just goes to show that our community really should be focused more, at least in my opinion, on civic engagement here on the New York City level and the New York State level, because this is what can impact us every day.
I did notice the difference there, because I'm from LA originally, and when
Yeah.
I moved to New York, I did notice that distinct difference. Even though there were a lot of Filipinos that I kind of saw and worked with or whatever, I didn't feel this sense of community that I did in LA. Like I don't know how to describe that, but I did notice that. What's the challenge? What's the source of that, or what's the reason for that? Can you, so as someone from there? Is
Yeah,
there a
I'm,
reason
I'm
for
I'm not sure. I can't compare and contrast to LA. I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
But for New
Okay.
York, I mean, I think the community is here. I think it's just the it's also how like New Yorkers are. Sometimes they're not like
They're just
they're
in
not
their
gonna,
own worlds.
not gonna participate in everything because every New Yorker already has something on their plate. And if they don't have something on their plate, they got 20 things they can do for fun that day. So they don't have to be doing this. They can just be enjoying themselves because there's so many things to do on a certain day, so many things to eat, so many friends. Like there's something you could do in New York, and the transportation is easy. You could do all that. But on the other hand, folks that want to work together in the community, I think there are, especially more recently, there are folks that are more willing to engage with each other, work with each other to go towards a community where just easier to work together than separately. And I think we're there right now, which is great.
Do you think the whole discussion around anti-Asian hate crimes and discrimination and the COVID situation, do you feel like that's improved the need to speak up or the call for action? Do you feel like people are energized by that kind of, I guess not energized, but outraged that they want to do something?
I think so. At least from what I see, I definitely think so. And it's younger folks and all our seasoned community leaders also are heavily involved. So it's quite intergenerational, and people are saying enough is enough. And I think the last one where we really couldn't take it was the one in Yonkers a few weeks ago when we had a tita that was just walking at our home and on camera was attacked and punched 125 times, and it's all on camera by a neighbor. This is just down the street from the College of Mount St. Vincent, whereas a big Filipino it's like a few blocks away, big Filipino organization that's the alma mater of Cory Aquino. Like it's like a historic like Filipino enclave a bit, and that happened there. So at a certain point, enough is enough, but we're definitely doing better, and it looks like we'll continue to keep moving together as a community. It doesn't look like it's a one-off. It looks like it's just a start.
Wow. Yeah, it's so sad. And, we see it, we try to share it in the news, but again, it's, like you said, there's so many underreported incidents as well. Is there any other events and rallies that I know you had a few that you did, before because of those incidents. Is there anything coming up right now that you're working on?
Well, there's been a few like Pan API rallies, but the one that occurred a few days ago in Foley Square downtown in Manhattan was led primarily by all Filipinos, Filipino women, in fact, for Women's History Month. They did a great job. And one of them, Rochelle Ocampo, is also a FYLPRO alum. And so it was great to see everyone together. As of right now, for next steps, I think there will be some follow-up, but we're all trying to get on the same page to see what that follow-up should look like, how to get everybody more involved, and broaden the ranks on this effort, not just to fight for a good cause, but to defend our community and those most vulnerable.
Yeah, well, again, we're going to be looking out for it. I mean, and your campaign, how's that going? So for those of us who may not be watching the New York politics,
Yeah.
you're going for state. What specifically is the role? Like what's
Yeah,
because we have
yeah.
several members who are running for office right now, actually.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it looks all over the place, all over the place. And
Yeah.
in New
But
York,
your
yeah,
race, yeah.
yeah, in New York, this is a state election year. Last year was city, so that the governor's up, attorney general, all in the state senators, assembly, and a part of one of those are state assembly district leaders, and that's the one I'm going for. And we've never had a Filipino represent that neighborhood. That's included of Woodside and Little Manila, and having that voice. I believe I heard the other day that there might be another Filipino running too, but from not in this district, another for district leader in another part of Queens. I'll have to touch base with her to confirm, but it looks like we'll have more than one going for it, and then there might be one or two running for county committee in Queens as well. So there's a lot to look forward to, and again, that's the June primary, not not the general in
Not the
November.
final. Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, the most recent news is apparently we didn't find out. Like, petitioning just ended a few days ago to get you on the ballot. I think I just heard I have an opponent. I thought it would kind of be like a walk in the park this year.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, it doesn't look like anybody. Let me slide it. No, it looks like there might be an opponent here. So I'm gonna be
Just
I
one.
think,
Just one opponent though.
it looks like just one.
Okay.
But I still have to confirm. That's literally what they maybe texted me right before I got on the Zoom. So we'll see.
Oh
I'll
wow.
confirm, and then we'll see. And if it's true, I might have to, bump
Ramp up.
efforts here.
Oh my gosh. Well, we are rooting for you though. We are hoping
Mhm.
that, we can get more voices like yours into public office, because it really is, it's the type of power and currency our community needs, right? Like we can talk about it all day, but if you're not at those positions of influence, I don't know, it's just, you can't get to that next level. So we're rooting for you. I know, and here we have several people running for office as well. So hopefully you guys will all win your races.
Hopefully a clean slate for FYLPRO, and just go down the line. But we'll see.
You have a
Well,
website? What's your campaign website? Just to let people know if they wanted to check it out.
I don't as of yet, because I thought it would
Okay.
be a walk in the park, like I mentioned. So I
So now
think
you
I'm
have to bump that up.
now I have to go get the domain again. So we'll see. But when it happens, we'll fill you guys in.
Yes, definitely keep us posted on your race, on everything out there, because we definitely want to cheer you on and support you in any way that we can. And your community is here. The FYLPRO community is here. I know it's been 10 years since you really got to see a lot of us, but
Yeah.
we're here to support, and we're here to celebrate your successes. So
Thanks. I really appreciate it, and I think I should start getting looped back in. I should see what I should do to help out, FYLPRO and everybody else.
Yeah.
So
You're doing amazing things there with community organizing. So that's great. We'll now that I know you're in the Woodside, if I need anything out of that Woodside community, I know the person to reach out to.
You definitely know where I am. I'm like a block away from where all the restaurants are. Like, I'm literally right here. I might go get dinner right now. Just do it. So,
Oh, nice. I miss it. I miss
Yeah.
it. It probably has changed quite a bit, but like I said, if next time I'm there, and if anyone out there is watching it in New York, definitely look up Steven and he'll give you a tour. See, I'm offering you as a community leader to give a tour.
we have a tour. If you guys paid for the food, I'll give the tour.
Oh yeah,
sure.
that's right. You guys should have a foodie tour. But yeah. Well, anything else you want to share in our FYLPRO chat before we go?
Yeah, no, just I think great to see, FYLPRO take it to the next level. We're all doing what we can. And I miss everybody. So but it's good to see everyone over there. When's the next conference? Do people know when that is?
We're trying to. I know obviously COVID ruined our opportunity to really get people together. We did have FYLPRO Con, which that Kit organized last year in lieu, but the immersion they're hoping to bring back next year. So I know sometimes they invite alumni to come to do it, to be part of that. But if not, we'll probably try to make one in Hawaii. Like these kind of road shows. I know Lizelle, our president, this year is doing road shows. Did you get to see her when she was there? Did she go to New York yet? I can't remember if she made it to New York yet.
She was in New York.
Okay,
I don't know for this. I knew when she lived here.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She lived
Yeah.
there for a long time too,
Yeah.
like me. No, but she's doing a road show. So for our FYLPRO
Oh,
family, she's making her way across the United States. So she was in Guam and she was in LA and here in Hawaii, and she's making her way eastbound because I think she's waiting till the weather gets better, right?
smart, smart. Well,
San Francisco. She also was in San Francisco.
yeah, give her a heads up that it's in the 60s now in New York. So it looks like it's
So
getting,
it's better.
it's a little better. I mean, this is the first day. It's a little better. It was raining the whole week, but it's there. Actually, one more thing to throw out there too.
Yeah.
Just so as you know, like Francine was my batch in the first
Oh,
year. So
yes.
it was just great, always lit up a room, very positive energy. So she left a lot of, you know, a big impression on a lot of us, and I'm sure a lot of folks I've never met. So she really was supportive and energizing and definitely a good person. So sorry that's
Yeah, such a loss for us.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Did you go for the memorial
I didn't get a
in
chance.
California?
I didn't get a chance.
Okay.
No.
I know a few of our members went and yeah, paid their respects. But yeah, I only had a chance to meet her virtually for the first time during a panel that she was on, an amazing woman. So yeah, definitely a loss for everyone. But
Yeah, for sure.
in her memory, we have to keep going.
Hey, we gotta go. That's what we should have wanted. We gotta do it.
Yeah. So anyway, Steven, I will let you go on with your busy schedule, never nonstop. But thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Keep it going.
No, thanks a lot. Thanks for the invitation anytime. And I might go to Hawaii soon because that looks, I need that relaxation. This whole that background.
Look what could you be enjoying.
Exactly.
The beach is right there. That's the beach.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But yeah, that might happen sooner than later. But thanks a lot.
And we'll welcome you with open arms, your FYLPRO family here in Hawaii. There's a lot of us.
Likewise, whoever comes back to New York. But thanks a lot. Great spending time with you, and let me know if you ever need anything. All right, guys.
Awesome. Aloha. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week on FYLPRO Fridays. Bye, Steven.
Bye-bye. See ya.